JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 14th of October 2021, so yep. Welcome everyone, welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, guys, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and look at this beautiful recovery, so rebound from this 208 EMA. We pushed higher. If you remember, yesterday I talked about this 28,581 level, which is marked by the high of the 11th of October, and I said that in order to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, then yes, maybe a push above this barrier would be needed, because in the near term, kind of from the near term perspective, it would confirm a forthcoming high. However, looking at the slightly broader picture here, we can see that we are still stuck in between these two lines, an upside one and the downside one, although both are tentative a little bit here, but I'm keeping those for now on the chart. So yep, let's see if, let's say, if we pop above this 28,581 territory, will we go a little bit higher here? For now, I will say that we'll stay cautiously bullish on the in the near term, but again, if we'll get comfortable with the upside if we get a nice pop above this 28,581 zone right here. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite very quickly. So yep, but also reversed to the upside, and as you can see, continues to get squeezed here in between these two lines. The one I talked about this yesterday, and I said that we're waiting until it's going to get out of this squeeze, but it seems like it likes to sit here. I mean, of course, I mean, let's see how today's trading session is going to end. We still have around 55 minutes left of trading on this one, but yeah, it seems that so far it seems that it wants to go a little bit higher here. It's currently kind of violating this downside line taken from the high of the 14th of September. So in other words, let's keep an eye on it. However, if you remember, I talked about this index, and I said that even if we break through one of those trend lines here, still I would maybe also prefer to wait for a clear breakthrough one of these levels as well, just to be a little bit more on the safe side with the next kind of short-term directional move. So so for now, I mean, if we do break this downside line and we stay above it, then yes, that could be the first step towards higher levels. However, you can see that we have this 21-day EMA here as well, which could be a good obstacle here on the way higher, and that's the reason why I'm keeping an eye on this 3,615 level right here. But again, like I said, let's keep an eye on, continue monitoring this one. Let's see where this is going to end today, and then we'll take it from there tomorrow. Now, the German index DAX, and yesterday it pushed higher. Again, look at this 15,250 level. Continues to act as a good area of resistance. Yep, for now I would say yes, continue monitoring it. If we take a look at the cash index right now and to see where we are at this moment, let me just basically quickly jump into into that. So yep, we're now above this barrier. So good performance yesterday. We pushed above this barrier, above that 15,250 zone. We climbed all the way here towards that 21-day EMA, which provided a hold up, and then we drift back down. But right now, like I said, the cash index is already above this barrier, so in a way this could lead to some higher levels, but only up until this downside line, because that's what I'm going to be aiming for initially. So this downside line taken from the high of the 31st of August could be the one to watch, and as if for example the price remains above that 15,250 zone, then well, yes, we will aim for slightly higher levels here. Now we're jumping into Nasdaq 100. So Nasdaq is stuck below this downside line still. However, also if we take a look at the cash index, we'll see that the price is currently sitting at around 14,845 level. So basically nicely above yesterday's close, but still below this downside line. So also very interesting developments here. So let's see if we can break this one today. If we can, then of course, yes, we'll aim for some higher levels, but I'll keep an eye on this little hurdle here, the highest point of October, the current highest point of October, near that 15,010 territory right here. And then yes, we will take it from there. For now, looking at this picture, yes, I mean, and looking at where the cash index is currently sitting at, yes, it seems that the index is willing to move higher. However, it needs to overcome this downside line first, and just for our own sake, just to be a little bit more on the careful side, maybe a push above that 15,000 territory could do the trick for more buyers. Now the dollar index broke the upside line. This is what I talked about yesterday, guys. And basically when I said that keep your eyes on it, when I was talking about DXY, we were still above this upside line, but I said that given that we found a good hold up again near this 94.50 territory, this kind of raises a few concerns here. But yeah, we managed to break this upside line, and this basically opens now the door towards slightly lower levels. Initially I'm going to aim for that 21-day EMA, but then I'll aim for that 93.68 zone right here, marked by the low of the 4th of October, which is basically the current lowest point of October. So yep, and if we drop below that, then we'll take it from there. But at the moment, let's go slowly, step by step on this one. For now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside here, but not much, because don't forget that we do have another tentative upside line here taken from the low of the 3rd of September, which could provide a bit of a hold up. Now, of course, the weaker dollar helped gold, and yep, we saw this nice pop here, and this is what I talked about. If you remember, I said that if we pop above that 1770 territory, then yes, this could open the door towards that 1787 level, or even this maybe all these EMAs here. But we had a good run here. As you can see, the 200-day EMA provided resistance, so we are now currently stalling just slightly below it. But if it makes a nice move again above this 200-day EMA, then of course we'll continue targeting the upside, and especially if the XY also continues its slide. So now, long story short, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, especially if we pop above that 200-day EMA. I'll consider the downside, and this is where I need to redraw this. Oh, and by the way, if you remember when I talked about this downside line and said that given that we continue to trade above this downside line and above this 1745 hurdle, this kind of thing still gave an opportunity for the bulls to step in, and basically they took that basically and took that opportunity and stepped in. So yeah, for now the downside, I would say, if we drop below this 1770 territory, and I would say if we drop below this upside line, then that's where we could consider maybe a bit of a down move. Quick update on silver. Silver also pushed nicely to the upside here, so this is what I talked about yesterday when I was covering silver, and said that if we pop above this barrier, above the, first of all, of course, if we pop above the 21-day EMA, and we then pop above that 22.88 level, then this could open the door towards slightly higher levels. Now, also what I mentioned, that maybe we could see this one as a maybe an inverted head and shoulders pattern. However, that's from the very near-term perspective, but let's not forget that we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 11th of June. So I would, given that gold seems to be a little bit more positive than negative. However, if you want to draw on gold this downside line as well, I mean, this is a tentative one, we can do just for the sake of it, but here, I mean, on silver we have this downside line as well. So I would say be very careful. Let's take maybe a cautiously bullish approach here, but again, if we do pop above this downside line here on silver, then yes, this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more buyers. WTI oil very quickly on that one. So yesterday it kind of didn't do much. It did drift a little bit lower initially, but today we're seeing a continuation move higher. Of course, the weaker dollar is kind of putting some fire here into the fire pit, and yep, we're seeing that this commodity continues to continues its journey higher. So, and of course, rising inflation. I mean, this is what's also causing. The cause of the rising inflation is the rising oil. Well, partially. But yeah, guys, for now, looking at this picture here, I mean, looking at the technical situation on WTI oil, well, in order to go for the upside here, of course, yes, there is still a good chance for that, but I would rather wait for a push above that 82.15 level, which is currently the highest point of October, and if that gets clear, then yes, of course, we'll go higher. But if we do that, then my next target, and this is where I need to scroll back way back into history here, and my next target could be this the high of the 29th of September of 2014, and that's roughly around that 84.10 zone. In terms of the downside on WTI oil, well, I would say if we drop somehow below yesterday's low, then we could consider a bit of a retracement to the downside here towards this upside line taken from the low of the 23rd of August, and then yeah, we could take it from there, of course. But at the moment, the downside seems to be slightly off the table. Bitcoin Cash, guys, very interesting developments here. We're near this downside line, so let's see if we can break that. If we can, of course, this could open the door towards higher levels, but if we cannot, then, well, I mean, maybe back to the drawing board. And so far, you can see that this 586 territory, yes, it keeps getting violated, but it somehow still holds the bodies of these daily candles. And yep, if you're looking for some downside, then at least wait for a drop below that hurdle, below this 586 territory, and at the same time a drop below the 21-day EMA could happen as well. So but that's in regards to the downside. So far, it seems that the crypto wants to move higher. However, this downside line is a little bit in the way. If we clear that, then yes, I'll aim for slightly higher levels. Now jumping into AUD/GPY, guys, so this continues to rise. So yep, we have a bit of a risk-on environment right now in the market. So yep, we're seeing some yen selling, and yep, pairs like AUD/GPY are pushing nicely to the upside. If you remember, yesterday I talked about this pair and I said that if it kind of continues to trade somewhere above this 82.82 level, then of course, yes, higher levels could be met. But even that retracement, there wasn't initially a retracement here lower, but didn't really move much, and instead, yep, it reversed higher, and today we're seeing a continuation move north. My next target is this area between the 84.19, 84.26 levels. I'll take it. I'll keep an eye on this one here for now, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Basically, if we do reach this area, I'll reevaluate everything again. Now USD CHF. So finally we broke the rising wedge pattern. We broke it through the lower side, of course, and now we're continuing to move lower. Now, of course, this break happened. That's great news for the sellers. I will aim a little bit more to the downside, not much. I'm going to aim probably somewhere initially towards this 100-day EMA or the 200-day EMA, and then I'll take it from there. Maybe it's going to oscillate around these two EMAs and then maybe reverse back to the upside. However, again, let's not over speculate on this one for now. Of course, it's looking a little bit more bearish than bullish, so let's keep an eye on these two EMAs for now. The 100-day EMA, which is roughly around that 0.9185 level, and the 200-day EMA, which is roughly around that 0.9168 zone. US dollar against the Turkish lira. So disaster in the Turkish economy continues, and basically their currency continues to devalue against a basket of major, against its major counterparts. And here, even though US dollar declined, you can see that basically this pair USD-TRY, I mean, continued to rally. That means that basically the Turkish lira is really suffering right now. Of course, the news came out that Tayyip Erdogan fired three members of the Central Bank Committee, so Monetary Policy Committee. So yeah, that kind of gave that push here. And of course, as we know, that Mr. Erdogan wants to lower interest rates. Of course, looks better on his political career, but of course, if he cuts more interest rates, then that's not going to help basically maintain inflation. So at the moment we're just continuing observing the situation here. Yes, I mean, it's pushing higher. Then the next target here could be this 9.2125 level. You can see that that's 50% retracement, 50% extension on the Fibonacci, and let's see where this is gonna go, because at the moment it's not really looking very well. GBP USD, so pushing nicely to the upside, and finally it's breaking now this barrier. Yesterday it failed to break this the high of the 11th of October, or in other words the highest point of October. Now today we are forming a new high for October, so we're clearing this 1.3674 level, and now again let's see if we can push higher here. At the moment, yes, everything's looking quite positive. We can take this downside line and make it an upside one. Let me just grab it this way. So yep, and then we will take it from there, guys. So for now, yes, everything's looking quite positive, and the pair could continue moving higher. We do have some obstacles in the way higher. For example, initially we'll have this 200-day EMA. That's what I'm going to be aiming for, and then we will take it from there. For now, leaning, of course, a little bit more towards the upside. For the downside, for me, I would need to see a break of this upside line, and then yes, we could take it from there. Now, finally, Euro Gpy. I know that some of you requested, especially Evo. So yep. We can see that Euro Gpy continues to rally after reversing nicely to the upside here from this 128.60 zone. We broke the downside line, we started climbing higher, started creating these higher highs, and for now, I mean, it's not really looking any way other than up here. Again, I will keep an eye on this little hurdle here, the high of the 13th of July near the 138.1.09 level. If we stay above it somehow, then yes, we will consider, or actually I would say, even if we stay somewhere above this 130.75 level, then yes, we'll continue targeting the upside. So basically something like this here could be possible. However, for now I'm not seeing any reversal signals yet, so that's why be very careful, guys, with this pair. At the moment, like I said, it's only one, it seems to be one-way traffic here, so let's see how far this can travel. And my next target could be this 132.50 22.66 zone, which, as you can see, acts as a very nice area of support and resistance. So long story short, again, we at the moment it's just like I said, one-way traffic here. It's pushing higher. However, if we do get that signal finally for a possible reversal here, then yes, we will consider a bit of a correction. However, if it stays somewhere above this 130.75 level, then maybe yes, the bulls could take advantage of the lower rate and push this one up again. If it starts falling and stays, and the body of the daily candle stays below this 130.75 level, well, maybe we could be due for a bit of a larger correction, especially if the pair starts falling somewhere below this hurdle, 130.47, and then yes, we could aim for that upside, tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 22nd of September. Quick update on Euro Gpy and Gbp. Sorry, Euro Gbp. Very nice developments here. You can see that somehow this level, the lowest point of April of this year, is continues to provide support. This 0.8472 zone. We are still stuck above it. It continues to hold. However, if that gets broken, then of course my next target is the 0.8450, marked by the lowest point of August, and then of course we'll go slowly on further south. Let me just remove all the drawings here because it's getting a little bit messy. So. So there we go. So let's put it this way. Currently, yes, we're holding near the lowest point of April. However, if that gets broken, the next target is the lowest point of August. But if that gets cleared, now this is where it could become very interesting for the sellers again, and we could maybe see the move all the way towards the low of the 25th of February of 2020 near the 0.8338 level. And then we'll take it from there. But at the moment, guys, it's quite interesting. Like I said, it's we're near this key support zone. If that gets broken, then well, we'll slowly start aiming lower, or I should say, we'll not start, but we'll slowly continue aiming lower. And finally, EURUSD. So here it's you can see that basically the pound currently is the stronger one, and it might remain like this for a while. And you can see that EURUSD is popping higher, basically because the US dollar is now on the much weaker side, and we are seeing a nice move to the upside here. We broke the downside line, if you remember. I talked about this, and we also popped above the 1.1587 territory. So now let's see if we can move a little bit more to the upside. Initially, I'll aim for that 21-day EMA, which is roughly around that 1.1639 zone, and then we will take it from there, guys. For now, yes, it is looking a little bit more interesting for the buyers. However, again, if we stay above this downside line, if we stay above this 1.1586 territory, then yes, we'll continue targeting the upside. If we don't, if we start falling back down, then we'll get rid of this downside line because no longer will be needed. And then we'll just have to reevaluate things again. Still, for me, the downside scenario could come on a break of this level, on a break of the this 1.1529 zone, and then yeah, we could go for lower levels then, because this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. But at the moment, it seems that the downside scenario it's slightly off the table if the pair continues to trade above this downside line and above this 1.1586 level. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your likes, guys. I really do. So thank you very much for that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.